p.m. this afternoon, we cut across to breaking news coming in. These are latest pictures from the heart of resistance, Panjshir. Northern Alliance gets ready to take on Taliban as it advances towards the province. We have been getting you ground reports on an almost daily basis ever since the anti-Taliban front has been building and getting stronger in Panjshir. Every single development coming in from Panjshir, as Republic is the only channel tracking every single movement of the Northern Alliance. For the moment, Rohit is joining me from the Afghan desk. Rohit, what's the latest we are picking up?
Yes, Suesha, these are more visuals that we're picking up. These are visuals these that we have access from Muslim Shehzadi, an Afghan journalist who has put these latest visuals from Panjshir. Now, here I want to bring our viewers' attention to these visuals, because here we see Humvees and military equipment. Here, these are some Northern Alliance soldiers who are, raising this flag of the Northern Alliance. But also, if we see the previous visuals, which you'll just see in a few seconds from now, are of the US Humvees, and the military equipment that is now with the Northern Alliance. And the Northern Alliance has been preparing to really take on the Taliban now. In fact, as far as Panjshir is concerned, now Panjshir is known to be the home of the resistance movement, not just now, but even in the past. We've heard back even when the Soviets were trying to take over the country, Panjshir was the only place that was never taken over by the Soviets. Similarly, Taliban back in 1996, when they tried to take over the entire country, and when they did take over the entire country, Panjshir was the one place that never came under the control of the Taliban. And now, once again, the Panjshir Valley is now home to another resistance movement, this time led by Ahmad Massoud and Amrullah Saleh, the caretaker president of Afghanistan, now taking on the Taliban from here. And here, these visuals are showing how, the Northern Alliance is preparing to take on the Taliban. These are more military equipment that we've been seeing, and Republic continuously gets you such more visuals and more reports from Panjshir Valley, showing you how not just how they have been training, but also the equipment, the military equipment, and all the, as I said, all the military equipment, the US Humvees, and all the materials they have, that they really, and the way they're preparing to take on the Taliban.
Stay on with us. We also are getting several voices on this. Group Captain Augustine Vinod is with us on the phone line. And sir, the anti-Taliban front, the resistance force getting stronger in Panjshir. What are your thoughts on it?
I will not read too much onto it, Surisha, because there are three aspects we need to consider. A, are we going to call them good Taliban? B, what is their, lookout towards not only the world politics, also towards India? I am a little selfish when it comes to how are we going to read and how is it going to pan out, because tomorrow, ye log aake hamare, darwaze pe dastak na dein. So, do we have some kind of positive response towards that? So these are the things that questions one needs to ask, because if we start celebrating straight away and tomorrow they become B-team of Taliban, what happens then? So lot of questions that remains unanswered, because see, at the bottom of the whole thing, we need to look at the core value of any organization. What is the core value of Northern Alliance? Is it to bring the Islamic State back in some form or manner? If that happens, what is their stand on Kashmir? Will they be siding towards Pakistan? They may not be siding towards Pakistan today, but tomorrow will they lean towards Pakistan because they all follow the same religion? So these are questions one needs to ask. So I'm more than certain Indian polity and Indian military is looking at it very carefully, but we are not going to, I can, say it, stick my neck out and say we are not going to, jump into the bandwagon and start celebrating and cutting cake straight away. Yes, we must watch.
Fair enough.
And of the both evils, current Taliban is bad. Yes, we can use the Northern Alliance to, stem their growth, but then we'll have to wait and watch.
You make a fair point, sir, and you're making a separate argument at this point, and you're right. A plethora of questions need to be asked on that front. But my point also is that who is to fight the Taliban at this point? And how is the Taliban to be dealt with at this point? And this is the only force that is arising to fight the Taliban. What do the people do?
I do not know, because what happens is when the fight becomes into a melee, how many will cross over from either side? these are, you mark my words, I'm telling you, from people from Northern Alliance who killed the old man Masood. People from Northern Alliance will have moles in Taliban and vice versa. Who will jump the field? Who's going to pay whom more? See, it's all feudal warlords. We can't, rate them like black or white. It's lots of shades of grey here. So this is someone. You're very right when you're saying that who's to stem Taliban. I totally am with you. Yes, we need to use Northern Alliance to stem the current Taliban. I'm totally with you on that. But what happens once you put all eggs in one basket on Taliban and Northern Alliance, and they now jump the ship? What happens then? And what is their stand on Kashmir? I am more interested in that. I'm not interested how the Taliban is stemmed or not stemmed. I'm interested tomorrow they should not come on my doorstep and say, here we are, please liberate Kashmir. That time, what is our stand? So let's not read too much into this, is my little point. But in the same breath, I'll also tell you something. The application of air power, especially from USA, they are not looking at it very seriously. If you remember Tora Bora. Tora Bora and other areas were brought down to knees only because the high-altitude bombers went pounding them. Are we doing it today? If not, why not?